Have you ever wondered what it would have been like to be a cowboy in the Wild West? To ride horses, to go on a trail drive, and live life on wide stretches of open land? It all began in the 1860s. During this time, cattle were raised in the pastures of the American plains to supply meat to the large cities of the East. So men were needed to take care of the cattle. These men became known as cowboys. But long ago, there were no cows in North America. In 1521, more than 450 years ago, the Spanish brought over the first cattle to what is now known as Texas. Then, for several hundreds of years, cows roamed the flat lands of Texas. But by 1870, ranchers had discovered that cows could thrive in the northern plains of the United States. So many cattle were moved to what is now known as Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and the Dakotas. These plains became one of the greatest cattle ranges in the world. And it was the cowboy, the caretaker of the cattle, who made this empire possible. Cowboys are a rare breed of American. There have never been more than 100,000 cowboys in the United States, but they have become a large and important part of our history. How do you recognize the real American cowboy? You can identify him by the clothes he wears. The cowboy wears boots, a hat, a bandana, chaps, spurs, and other clothes that are traditionally Western. There is a functional reason for each piece of clothing that the cowboy wears. The cowboy's hat has a wide brim to keep snow, rain, and sun off of his face. But the hat is not just for protection. He can use the hat to fan a fire, signal another cowboy, or scoop up water from a stream. The cowboy's bandana protects his neck from the sun, or it can be used to tie up a wound. The cowboy wears chaps, or seatless leather trousers, over his pants to protect his legs from thorny bushes. Cowboy boots also protect the cowboy from thorny bushes. The cowboy's boots have stitching in the leather to keep them stiff and prevent them from wrinkling around the ankles. The boots are pointed to make it easier to put his feet through the stirrups quickly. The boot heels also keep the cowboy's spurs off the ground. Spurs are the spiky points arranged in a circle that are attached onto the back of the boots. The cowboy uses the spurs to signal to the horse whether to stop or go. The cowboy's clothing protects him, but is also designed to help him do his job well. One of the cowboy's most important jobs is the trail drive, or moving the cattle from the western ranch to a railway station for shipment to the east. There is one group of cowboys from the IL Ranch in Nevada who still go on a trail drive with a horse-drawn chuck wagon, just like the cowboys did in the Old West. These Nevada cowboys are moving 3,000 head of cattle to the headquarters ranch. It takes 9 cowboys to handle this many cattle. The chuck wagon leads the trail drive. A chuck wagon is a covered wagon that carries the food for the cowboys during the trip. The front wheels are smaller than the back ones to make turning it easier. The second wagon is called a hoodlum wagon, and it carries spare bedding, saddles, and ropes. At the end of the day, the chuck wagon is sent ahead so the cook can begin to prepare the evening meal. This chuck wagon is just like the ones the cowboys used in the Old West. It has a water barrel that contains drinking water for the cowboys when they get thirsty. This man is the cook. Just like the Old West, cooks today are usually cowboys that are injured or too old to take care of cattle. The chuck wagon carries cooking tools, and it has drawers for flour, coffee, beans, bacon, and raisins. The body of the chuck wagon can be used as a table for the cook to prepare and serve the meals. This evening, the cowboys are eating beef. It is usually fairly tough, so the beef is stewed to make it easier to eat. After a good night's sleep, the cowboys begin a new day. This morning, they are drinking coffee and eating beef and pancakes for their breakfast. As soon as they are finished eating, they prepare to continue their journey. They pack up and saddle their horses. Most cowboys do not own their own horses. Each man rides a horse that belongs to the ranch owner, but every cowboy has his own saddle. Saddles usually weigh over 40 pounds and are very expensive. In the Old West, a saddle could cost anywhere from 1 month to 10 months' salary, or between $30 and $300. Today, a saddle costs between $200 and $1,000. During the trail drive, the cowboys move the cattle about 12 miles a day. At the front of the herd or group of cattle are the point riders. These cowboys lead the cattle in the right direction. The swing men are the cowboys who handle the cattle in the middle of the herd. At the end of the herd are the drag men. These cowboys keep slow cattle moving so they don't become lost. During the journey, the cowboys find time to braid. Cowboys are excellent braiders. They braid leather strips to make whips, hat bands, and ropes. And without ropes, a cowboy couldn't do his job. Roping cattle is one of the most important skills a cowboy can learn, but he must practice roping to become good at it. After many weeks of travel, the cowboys come to the end of the trail drive. They deliver the cattle safely to the headquarters ranch. This journey is over, but for these cowboys, there will be many more trail drives in the years to come. These Nevada cowboys have kept the traditions of the Old West alive. They are the only cowboys left who still ride in a trail drive with a horse-drawn chuck wagon. Just like the cowboys before them, these men love the trail drive and the life lived out on the wide-open lands of the West. These men are real American cowboys.